Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of July 22nd. We are going to jump right in here. You have this explosive situations card. It says that this destruction will allow new growth to emerge and shape a new future. You have this tricky situations. It says a sly approach is necessary in order to navigate a tricky situation. So definitely some sort of situation going on here. And you have the Temperance card, which is you, the Hangman, and the Two of Pentacles. So this actually looks pretty good. I mean, Temperance is you. Whenever you show up in a reading as yourself, it, puts you in a position of power and strength. It allows you to get what you want from the reading. So, that looks pretty good. And, this could help you navigate the tricky, if you are dealing with a tricky situation, could help you navigate it. You also have the Hangman, and the Hangman represents gaining a new perspective. So if you're dealing with something this week, then the Hangman would say looking at things from a new perspective could be very helpful for you. I also, without even continuing, I feel that the Ten of Swords to the Magician, I have a feeling is saying that... that just ending a cycle or leaving something behind could be the trick. Yes, walking away from something could be the answer, right? We have the Ten of Swords to the Magician, and the Magician is pointing to the Eight of Cups. So this is basically saying if you're dealing with anything tricky this week, that to be able to transform the situation, all you have to do is walk away from it. So there might be a situation that is like dead done over with the Ten of Swords, and you might be thinking, do I stay? Do I go? That's the feeling I get because you have the Nine of Swords right next to it. And the Nine of Swords is a never-ending nightmare. It's basically a round-and-round situation. So if you're doing something where you feel like you're just, going insane, then I feel it might be time to walk away from whatever that is. I feel pretty good about the Temperance card. Again, I feel like you're showing up at least in a strong position, and this puts you in a position of power and strength. You have the Hangman. Again, I think seeing things from a new perspective or just putting yourself on pause so that you can see all the different angles would be a very good idea as well. This could say that maybe you're thinking about like giving an ex a second chance, or maybe you're thinking about trying to fix something that's clearly broken. The Hangman says, put yourself on pause and really, really examine the situation and really think about it. It doesn't mean you have to walk away either. It just says, can you fix something? Maybe you can't. And, tarot is not set in stone. Tarot is not magic. Tarot can't make anything happen for you. But, what I would say is I think taking a little bit of a pause might be a good idea this week. You have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is like work hard, play hard. And a lot of people have been getting the Two of Pentacles in the middle of the month here. And I feel it would be a really good time to kind of fill your fun bucket, as I like to say. Make sure that you're doing things in your life that are more fun, that are more entertaining, and enjoying yourself more would be a good idea as well. But let's see what is going on for you here. That did just not work at all. So let's try again. With the Temperance card, you have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords is kind of like trying to come to some sort of agreement. I look at the Two of Swords as a card of mediation, trying to find a middle ground. But I kind of feel that there might not be a middle ground, and you might be much happier walking away. So I feel this kind of feels like work to me. And so if you have a job that you don't really like, or, if you're working on something that you don't really like, I feel the Two of Swords is saying, well, really, there's probably just something else. I always say that the Two of Swords, there's a new island behind the lady on her card, and she needs to go to that new island. So you might be thinking, oh, I only have these two options. I can stay at this job, or I can go find another job. But there might be another option where you start your own business, or you do something different or completely different. And I feel like that is what will lead to the most happiness for you. So it looks like you're trying to make a hard decision. Like, this isn't even that bad of a reading. Even though it says tricky situation, it's like it's tricky in the sense that you're not sure what to do. I don't even think it's that bad. With the Hangman, you have the Star. The Star is kind of like hope, faith, and renewal. The Star also says what's possible for one person is possible for everyone. The lady is normally pouring the water onto the land on the Star card, and it's pouring out into the earth. And that's that water comes from the pool of universal consciousness. And so that's the part that represents what's possible for one person is possible for everyone. And so I think that for a lot of you, that maybe you're doing things that you don't want to be doing right now, but having more fun enjoying yourself, getting out into the world, and doing something that someone else has done and using them as an example could be a good idea. By the way, the sun and the star is fame and fortune. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands kind of says don't give up, but I feel like this is saying like don't give up on the dream with the star and the sun. If you have a job right now that's preventing you from working on your dream, maybe it's time to make a change, or maybe it's time to try to reinvest in that dream and try again. This could also be, just you being the wounded warrior and, having gone through something and needing to get up off the ground with that Ten of Swords and have a new beginning. There's the other way, that's the other way that we could read this, is that what you're walking away from is just whatever the Ten of Swords is, something that's dead, done, over with, and needing to move on to something new. In that row represents what's coming in for you. You have this Pegasus. It says Muse, Fame, and Sacred Springs. The star and the sun in a reading is fame and fortune. So really good. Sagittarius is definitely the sign of fame. So there could be some fame or fortune coming in for you. You have this Crown Safaka card. It says femininity, assertiveness, and group accord. So, I kind of feel like other people could be a little bit of a problem actually for you here, Sagittarius. It's like other people have wishes for you, which I think you've been dealing with since 2023. Is like other people have these dreams for you, but it's like they're their dreams. It's not your dream. And I think once you realize that and take back control of your own life, that's when things will start going well for you. That Pegasus says the muse. And having a muse is kind of like having something that motivates you to create, or having something that motivates you to greatness. And I think that's what you need. You have the Ten of Swords, Six of Swords, and the Death card. Something is clearly dead, done, over with in your life. Six of Swords would be moving on. The Death card would be the death of establishment. Ten of Swords is rock bottom, or Ten of Swords says something is dead, done, over with. And he's making this symbol right here with his hands, and that symbol represents a blessing. It's the same symbol that the Hierophant is making on his card. So I think that you getting up and having a new beginning is where the blessing is going to come from. So I would have a new beginning. You have the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords moving on from choppy waters to calmer shores. I definitely feel you've been through choppy waters, and now you are heading towards calmer shores, which is probably what's going on here. The woman and this child in this boat, they have to leave everything behind them behind, and they only have the clothing on their back, and they don't know, they are just hoping that things are going to be better on the other side. And I kind of feel that's the position you're in, that you could be saying like, my situation isn't great right now, and anything is better than this, right? And I feel that with the Six of Swords. I also feel that going up to the Nine of Swords, that you're saying to yourself, I can't repeat something again. The Nine of Swords is coming up in the area of messages from your future self, and your future self would be saying like, don't repeat a cycle. But I also feel mentally that you can't repeat a cycle. With the Death card, I feel that there is a big change coming in for you. The King is dead on the Death card, and it represents the death of establishment. But the two pillars from the moon show up here, and the sun is coming up between those two pillars. Then we go from the Death card to the Magician to the sun. So literally, the sun is coming up in your reading. I feel that there are improvements and blessings with the sun coming in for you, and it's probably because you are releasing a tricky situation. With the Ten of Swords, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Both of these cards are very similar. The Wheel of Fortune can represent cycles. The Nine of Swords can represent a cycle. And the Wheel of Fortune at least says you have a choice on which cycle you have at this time. So I would take control with the Wheel of Fortune and make sure that you're doubling down on the good stuff. But also I kind of feel, and also the Wheel of Fortune is your card again. So you're showing up in a good twice at the top as yourself. And that puts you in a position of power and strength. But I also feel, take control of the wheel. With the Six of Swords, you have the Two of Pentacles, again, twice going this way. So I feel that the Two of Pentacles is saying, balance your energy. The Two of Pentacles, he's trying to do too much. So you might be dealing with like other people's responsibilities, or you might be just doing too much in life, and kind of like focusing on what's important will help speed things up. I can't make this up. With the Death card, you have the Death card. So whenever cards repeat themselves, it's basically the universe saying I meant what I said. And we already have a bunch of cards repeating themselves here in this reading. So I feel like the Death card is saying it's definitely time to transform past a situation. The Death card can also, this white rose on his banner can represent the light at the end of the tunnel. So it kind of says that you are going through a positive transformation, which we go up to the sun. And so I definitely feel whatever you are releasing, you're heading towards much better times, or you're heading towards something that's going to be much better. In the area of messages from your future self, you have this shark and this otter. The shark kind of represents paying attention to your senses and paying attention to like the energy and the messages that you're receiving. So I would pay attention. The otter represents more playfulness, and so I feel you need to be more playful as well. But I would also pay attention to anything that doesn't seem correct or right for you. You have the Nine of Swords. The thing about the Nine of Swords is it basically says, and you have the Nine of Swords on the bottom of your clarifying deck there as well. The Nine of Swords says you do not have to repeat something again. The story of the Nine of Swords is that he's in pain, but he's like not in enough pain to get out of the bed. This right here represents a comfort blanket. And so he's like in pain, but he's also kind of like comforted in a situation. And so sometimes I think we get into a comfort zone where it's kind of like painful, but it's not like things haven't gotten bad enough for us to make a change. And I feel that the Nine of Swords is saying to you, like, don't let things in a situation get bad enough for you to be convinced that you need to make a change, right? We all do this, like in relationships, right? It's like, I'm sure you've all been in a relationship. I know I have, right, as well, where it's like things get bad, but it's like they're not bad enough, but still you have the person and they're still in your life, but you're still kind of like, things aren't going the right direction, but we just stay in it. And when we could have ended it much sooner. Same thing with work, same thing with business. It's like things can start going the wrong direction, but we don't make a change until it gets bad enough, right? And so I kind of feel this is a little bit of a warning from your future self. It's saying don't wait. You already can sense with that shark card that things need to change, so make the changes necessary now. You have the Magician. The Magician, sometimes I feel that he needs to have a new beginning. He does represent new beginnings, but I kind of get this feeling that it's saying like you need to do something to manifest or create a new beginning in your life. This could represent using other tools as well. He has mastery over all the suits in the tarot. These are all the ace versions of each one of these suits. And so he can have a new beginning with those ace versions of all those suits in a different way. It's like maybe you've been trying to run your business with your intellect, with the swords, but maybe you need to use your creativity with the wands. But same thing in love. It's like maybe you've intellectually gone at relationships, but now maybe you need to approach them with like cups or pentacles or whatever the case may be. The Magician reminds us that we have to go through a reinvention to get what we truly desire. And so I feel it is a time of reinvention for you. You have the Queen of Wands. I kind of feel like this is just your energy showing up in the reading again. So you're just showing up kind of as yourself. I feel like the Queen of Wands, she is bold and assertive, but she also has this black cat right here. And during the times of tarot, black cats were considered unlucky, but the whole point of the black cat is she doesn't care what anyone thinks. She just likes the black cat. And remember, we were saying something earlier about like other people's wishes for you, and it's like, that's great, but it's your life. And I feel like the Queen of Wands is really saying, one thing I will say about her is that she really marches to the beat of her own drum. She does her own thing. She is the card of learning as you go as well. And so I feel this is saying like you're on this journey where you can't really listen to anyone else. The only person you can listen to is yourself. And it's like, yeah, other people have wishes for you, but so what? Like I said, unless they're paying your bills, it doesn't matter what they say. So that's what I would say there. Let's see. With the Nine of Swords, you have the World. The World can definitely represent an accomplishment or an achievement coming in for you. Also a card of a cycle. The World, we go from the Fool to the World, and then we start all over again as a Fool. So I feel like you are starting a new journey. With the Magician, you have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is about being in alignment with what you want. So we can manifest with the Nine of Cups if we start acting as if we already are the thing that we want to be. Same thing with the Magician as well. And, part of that might be letting go or walking away from your old story. It's like if you're in a relationship where you're not getting what you want, you're basically in alignment with something you don't want. And so sometimes we have to leave those situations because they don't match up with who we truly want to be. You might be in a business where, the boss or your manager has a lack mentality, and maybe you have an abundance mentality. It's like you need to go find someone who has an abundance mentality. With the Queen of Wands, yes, are you kidding? You have the Nine of Pentacles, card of independence. It all starts with you here, Sag. I think this whole entire reading is basically saying that you need to maintain your independence. The Nine of Pentacles is about creating heaven on earth, your own little slice of heaven on earth, but she is focused on doing that. She also normally has like 6 pentacles on one side, 3 pentacles on the other. And it kind of represents the fact that she never gives like too much to a situation. And that goes for everything: love, money, spiritually, in business, even in her health and everything. She only ever gives like 3 pentacles worth of her energy to those situations. So she's always keeping enough for herself so that she has enough energy for herself. And there's definitely something here, with the 2 of Pentacles twice, that you could be kind of spreading yourself too thin because of other people. So I think it's time to, kind of focus on your own energy. You have this, in the area of the good stuff, you have this rhino, it says overcome any obstacle. You have this ant, it says time to collaborate. I would change that to say it's time to collaborate with the right people. It's time to collaborate with the people where you don't feel exhausted when you're done dealing with them. I think that if we're working with people, or even if we're like in a relationship, right, it's like a person should never make us feel exhausted. We should feel uplifted, or, we should be finding those people that do lift us up. And I feel like that's what this is saying. You need to surround yourself with people who kind of carry an equal amount of weight or more in a connection. And clearly you are overcoming this tricky situation. You have the Sun, which is the best card in the tarot. The Sun makes the whole entire reading a little bit more positive. It pushes it more in the right direction. It's kind of the clue that I needed to say that you are going to have a breakthrough with any tricky situations that you could be dealing with. You have the Devil. The Devil is coming up in the good stuff, so again, I think you could be releasing yourself from situations that are keeping you stuck. And, I also kind of get the feeling that there have been situations or people that have been affecting your creativity as well. So, again, maybe you're entering into a more creative time where you have more creative ideas that can actually work instead of not work. And I definitely get that feeling on the Devil. You have the 8 of Cups, and again, I think this is you walking away from something because it isn't right. Again, when we walk away from something that is not fulfilling us, that is not right, we are telling the universe, I want something better, and the universe responds. We're basically signaling the universe to bring us something better. So if you're in something that is less than perfect, I think that it's time, and nothing is perfect, but again, if you're staying in that relationship just so you're not alone, or, if you're staying in that job that isn't working and you're not looking for something else, then you're telling the universe that your situation is acceptable. But again, this is coming up in the good stuff, so I feel like you are telling the universe that your situation is unacceptable and you're looking for something better. With the Sun, you have the Hermit, who has the star right here. On a traditional Hermit, the Hermit has a star in his lantern, and so he needs to shine that light out all over the place. The 2 together, the Sun and the star, would represent fame and fortune. So this is basically saying, for you to get into that fame and fortune energy, that you need to blast your star all out, all over the place, right? And it kind of says you need to come out of Hermit mode and you need to display your skill. The trick with the Hermit is that the Hermit needs to come down from the mountain and he needs to show the world what he has learned. But this could be through demonstration, right? He could, have gone through a dark night of the soul, learned something difficult, and now he is demonstrating his skills by, starting that business or getting the better job or getting into a good relationship or whatever the case may be. With the Devil, you have the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is about manifesting a dream on earth. He is a bridge between the heavens and the earth, so he communicates with both sides, and he can manifest a vision kind of on earth, like whatever he is dreaming or preaching about. He also kind of represents stages. The Hierophant, keep wanting to say the Hermit. The Hierophant has 3 stages to his crown. They represent initiation, apprenticeship, and mastery, and I kind of feel this reading is saying that you are getting to that next stage. With the 8 of Cups, you have the 5 of Wands. See, I think you're fearing that if you leave a situation that you're going to cause conflict, but the 5 of Wands would say this is going to go much better than you expect. So don't worry about, leaving a person or a situation because, it's probably going to be better than you think. You have this Well, it says family wishes come true. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff regarding family with you, Sagittarius. There has been all year. I think that if we look at your astrology, there's plenty of stuff that really talks about you having dealt with, things involving family or other people. You have this Cup, it says you should accept valid criticism, and so I think you should accept valid criticism, but I also think that if there are people that are pushing their dreams onto you, that is the type of criticism that you should not take. You have this Sun card, which you have twice now. It says happiness and well-being. And I think you need this, the Nine of Pentacles, right? Nine of Pentacles says you need to get more pentacles on the side of happiness and well-being and give less pentacles to the things that don't make you happy or don't increase your happiness and well-being in general. You have this younger man card. It says dealings with relationships with a younger man. You have this table. It says hard work ahead. I kind of feel this is saying you're birthing your new life. You know, the younger man could just be representing something new that is being born in your life, like a transformation or change. And the table is saying you're just kind of like building the foundation necessary to work on this new project or whatever you're doing. You have this whale. It says great worry over nothing. Yes. I think that, again, if you're thinking about leaving a situation, you're making a bigger deal out of it than you think. I always tell a story. I had a buddy who was renting a warehouse like years ago, and he wanted to get out of his lease, and he was like all worried about it. He was like, oh, this guy, the owner is going to make me pay for the rest of my lease and like all this other stuff, right? And so finally he got the guts to tell the owner that he wanted out of the lease, and the owner was like, oh, thank God. The owner was like, I've been trying to rent this to another person. I have a buddy that wants it, and blah, 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 blah. And so like he made this big deal out of something, and to only find out that the guy was like super happy that he was getting out of his warehouse, right? So it's like you never know. You might be thinking, I need to get out of this job, and you might be worried what the people or your boss might think, but they might be like, oh, thank God we're closing the business, And I kind of get that feeling from the whole entire reading. But anyway, this looks really good. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.